Good morning, Botai. Last week we spoke about some of the halachot of pikuach nefesh, of desecrating Shabbat for life-threatening circumstances. Now, it is clear that if a person is mechalin Shabbat, if a person desecrates Shabbat with no good reason, for no specific purpose, obviously that requires teshuvah and kapara. There's no question. What happens if a person is mechalin Shabbat for pikuach nefesh? Does that require kapara? Do you need to do teshuvah for being mechalin Shabbat in that way? Now, it's interesting, Maran Zichron Bracha writes that there was a group of women who, when they would help women give birth on Shabbat and they had to be Mechalin Shabbat in the process, throughout the week they would fast and do all sorts of different procedures in order to be Mechaper, in order to atone for that Chilul Shabbat. And Maran Zichron Bracha writes that that's inappropriate. It's incorrect to do that. He says, look, when there's a Brit Milah that falls out on Shabbat, you have Mohalim who fight over the mitzvah. He says, do you think every time a Mohel does a Brit Milah on Shabbat, that afterwards he's fasting for Chilul Shabbat? No, that's the mitzvah. So too there's a mitzvah to be mechalel the Shabbat for pikuach nefesh, and there's no fasting or any other teshuvah necessary. Not only that, Maran Shulchan Aruch writes that let's say a patient, a sick person on Shabbat, a person sick, and doctors say that he needs one fig. 10 people run to a tree and pick off a fig on Shabbat. 10 people do it. He only needs one. The halacha is, says Maran Shulchan Aruch, none of them are liable for Shabbat desecration. None of them did Chilul Shabbat. Why? And not only that, all of them have reward from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whoever does it the fastest, but since they all went and they were all part of this mitzvah of Pikuach Nefesh, so they all get reward for that. There was once a person, there was a sheila sent to the author of Bnei Tzion, Agon of Ben Tzion Lichtman. So he asked him a shaila, he says he was sick on Yom Kippur, and the doctor said that he had to eat on Yom Kippur. And after Yom Kippur, this guy started having all sorts of second thoughts. He says, maybe I wasn't that sick, I wasn't so weak, really I didn't need to eat. He started having all sorts of second thoughts, and he asked the Binyan Tzion, do I have to do teshuvah? Should I look to do some sort of teshuvah after Yom Kippur? So he told him, he says, there's a clear halacha. The Gemara says in Masechet Yomah that even if the patient says on Yom Kippur, I feel like I don't need to eat at all, and the doctors tell him that you have to eat, the halacha is that he has to. So he says over here, not only is there nothing for you to do, but you shouldn't do a teshuvah process, because that will kind of make people marpeh, they'll get loose from being mechalin Shabbat. That's not, a person should not hesitate. Like we brought from the Yerushalmi, that if a person hesitates in a situation of pikuach nefesh on Shabbat, even for safek pikuach nefesh, even for a doubt of a life-threatening situation, ki'ilu shofech damim, it is as if he is spilling blood. So all of these things kind of cool people down from doing the mitzvah of saving a person's life, the mitzvah v'chai b'hem, and therefore none of these things should be observed, and that is a clear halacha. Have a wonderful day.